Hey guys, what's going on? Roundedtiktak is back again, and we're still taking a look at Hell Spawn, Demon Spawn, Triple Amp, whatever you want to call it, the quote-unquote hardest one in the entire game. We're going to be taking a look at exactly what you have to do on this time on the east side. We already covered the north side, so hopefully you guys had a chance to watch that video. If not, maybe you can. Something a little different that is going on is we are going to have the mission running. I have the volume turned off, but for the north spawn video, I'm trying to get it to actually spawn, and I cannot get it to happen. So you're gonna see the things pop up and stuff while we're talking about the mission. Just ignore it. I'm just trying to get the footage for the first spawn that we covered, which is north side. So with that out of the way, let's jump into this. This is Hell Spawn, east side, mountaintop. This one's a doozy. So first up, just look how massive this spawn is. It is probably the largest building structure, if you combine it technically into one, in the entire game. It is legitimately 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 tiles wide. That is huge. That is enormous. So we're gonna try to break it down into two sections, this left hand side and that right hand side. The right hand side doesn't have too much to it, but the left hand side definitely does. So we're gonna start this one differently again than our north spawn, because as you guys know, this spawn does have a full built base on it, because it's one of the more difficult spawns. Especially coming this way, the main issue you're going to have is flingers. So the spawn happens right here. Sometimes, let's cover this first. Sometimes you will have a random flinger out here. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. They come out this way, they come to right about where that lava bomb goes, and they start flinging. This happens for, from what I've seen, two reasons. One, they spawn out here. A random tendril comes up here and it just breaks this wall and it spawns here and starts flinging. That's one way. Another way is they spawn somewhere like around here. That is why this is built like it is. And same thing, they walk around. Another way it does happen is this over here. They spawn here, then they can't figure anything out. They back up this way, and if you don't have this built, they will come up this way, come back around, and start flinging from over there again. The last way, which there's not much you can do here, if you have the building space, feel free. I've seen them, depending where the host is standing, because they attract to the host. They come all the way up here, kite back down, and fling from this way. You can, if you have the building space, block this off. But if your host or if your buddy's host, just tell them to sit at spawn at the actual amplifier and you will be fine. So just know that this is blocked off like this with 1 2 3 4 5 tiles this way. You can block it off that way, but this will stop your random flinger from spawning. The only way it will happen is if they phase shift through the walls. There's an issue, there's a bug going currently where enemies will just randomly phase shift through the walls. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to be on guard. Our lava shield is 3 tiles high and 3 tiles wide, a 3x3 actually, and it's very effective. We have a double wall here just in case they want to fling. If they start flinging from here, you are in trouble. It's a long build up back up this way and you will get caught out. So I even have a backup wall here, but this wall here is also for those floor launchers. Another problem area is right here. This is how I have it built and it works perfectly. Originally, I had this entire little walkway that I made trapped, and I had it leading into another trap tunnel, but we changed that. But we found that these traps still get triggered a lot. However, none of these were. So they were attacking this wall. They would spawn from here and they would come here and attack this. So we have these here for the couple enemies that go through. Hopefully it'll kill them before they can break that wall. If they break this wall, you're in trouble. There's going to be a lot of enemies flooding through this side. So just make sure. Another problem area is right here. For some reason, they like to break this wall too, or just get caught up here. And again, they'll flood out on this left side. The things we've done to combat this is, like I said, make this archway, which helps. I don't know why 100%, but it does. This backside here is a full blockade with back walls, just to stop them from going this way. We have the traps, but in case they want to go that way, they have a lot of stuff to break through. Lastly, down here we have one more wall in case they break this. It'll give you enough time. Hopefully your zeniths will see it, and you can get up here and fix it. This is the start of the tunnel. We have these blockades here because we do not want them busting through and coming to get us. Sometimes you end up having to do something like this, just so it's one more obstacle for them to break through, and they will choose not to. Sometimes this wall busts out too, but you should not have an issue here. This is actually quite easy to take care of. Once they get into your tunnels, you're good to go. Let's take a look at exactly what you have to worry about here. We have one tunnel on this left side. The spawn is here with 6 gas traps, 2 pushers, and I have 2 floating broadsides. You can add these or not if you want to. They drop down into here. This is not accounting for this right spawn, which we'll cover in just a minute. They come into here, they all get pushed, locked back. We're just trying to stall them out. Now, what is interesting here is this spot right here. Let me show you exactly what is behind this wall. We turned what most people put into 2 pathways, we just turned it into 1, and it works perfectly. We've never ever had an issue here, and this wall has yet to even take damage, let alone ever break. So this is something that you can definitely do to save on building space and building materials. We have a wall here, and then we have a ton of stuff here. We have a flat piece. I can't even get through it because apparently there's a trap on it. We have a flat piece. We have, I believe, a diamond on top of it. We have a flat piece. We have a diamond on top. We have a tar pit up here with increased building health. We have a broadside, a gas trap, just in case they make it. These will kill the small enemies fast enough for us to kill them. Probably not necessary, and it's overkill. Then we have this all completely blockaded off. They would have to break through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiles to come this way. They usually choose not to. And then we just have a regular tunnel. We have 2 push pads here to take down the bigger guys when they come in. An alternator push pad right here to knock them back out. They come this way. This is just to delay them, do some damage. Of course, these are wall darts because these are floor launchers. We come in here. This pushes them back into the tunnel. Broadside to do some damage. They land here, and it's just death row. They come here. They get killed. If they're a fat guy, they're dead by this spot. They drop down here. Another floor launcher or a pusher, either one. We have these windows here to have your zenith be able to shoot anything that gets pushed back into this. The main issue on this right side is the lobber shield, them busting out the right side of the tunnel, but if you build like this, it won't happen. And lastly, perfect example. Did you see that flinger head? I have no idea where it came from. No clue whatsoever where that person just tossed from, but that's why you build on your base at this spawn, because random stuff like that happens and you don't have good line of sight. Another thing that we did is put this base here, or not this base, these 2 pieces here. These might stop that flinger because he wants the path through this tunnel. He maybe. We're not 100% sure on this, but it definitely does seem to help. If you don't have the build space, I'm pretty sure you'll be fine if you forget it. But as you can see, the enemies cut through this way. They don't even make it very far in a solo run, at least on this. Smashers get flung back. Propane is probably going to pop off right now. But this is the entire right side. Good to go, 100%. Just 3x3 up there, 3x3x3. Block off this right side as much as you can. Send them down this main tunnel. And again, we have this fully built up as well. Let's actually take a look at the left side. All right, now we're going to take a look at the right side. The right side, this is the second spawn right here. What you have to be careful of, the main issue on this tunnel that people have is enemies coming down this way, kiting to about here and start flinging. You can stop this a multitude of ways. The way I did it and the way it works for me is spawn trapping to kill most of the trash. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10 spawn traps. These will kill most of the trash. They also provide a decent sized lobber shield. Do not place something here because the enemies can drop down on top and you'll create a land bridge. So leave this open. You will not get flung from anything here. We have 2 pushers here just to add some more crowd control ability to the issues that you guys might be having. Lastly, this is probably the important part, is this right side. You can tell these are all double backed walls. If you have the build space, I would suggest putting pushers here. I did not have the build space at the time. They have no pushers on them and it still succeeds. Over on this side, we have just some walls to deter them. They're not backed with anything. They are just here as a deterrence, and it seems to be working. The last thing you have to make sure of is this blocker in place here. This will stop any and all husks trying to make it out. The only issue you will have is if for some reason a smasher wants to beat on one of your walls. So right here we have a timeout box. This is why I don't normally put timeout boxes, and in fact if I was to redo this tunnel I would change this, but sometimes a smasher will get thrown into here. If they don't die or get thrown up, this actually should be a wall dart, they will start beating on this wall. So your zeniths are going to have to keep an eye on that. Another thing is right here, you have to be careful, same thing, but as you can see on the back end we have these blockers to deter that and allow your zeniths to freeze them, shoot them a couple of times, and hopefully reset their aggro. On all of these timeout boxes that have a floor launcher here, I have these walls. I call these chimneys. They are to stop the smasher from landing on top of your base. If they land outside of your base, that is fine, but you just don't want them landing up top here and walking down. So any base that I have these chimneys, they probably have some either natural formation or these metal walls up here. We go into here. This is, like I said, another alternator. Same thing here. This one with a floor launcher. I don't care that these cancel each other out. They have different reload speeds. So 9 times out of 10, one of them will be on reload and allow the other one to trigger. Again, we have these chimney blockers here and this natural formation here. This one in particular, I don't care if they come this way because they can't get up anyway. So they either have to drop back into the tunnel or go down to this left side. So this one you can leave blank, that chimney wall right there. Over here, our last little defense here, tar pit trap is 100% necessary because the enemy's smashers on higher waves are going to make it this far, guaranteed. So your zenith and company is going to be back there and you're just going to be freezing them while they're stuck in this tar pit trap. We do have a boomerang trap here with a last bit of defense. This trap is fantastic. Feel free to do the same, or if you want to, you can make right here into a double timeout box. That's up to you. I like this setup a little more because it kills smashers basically, and that's all that's really going to be making it to the side. They will, if they make it this far, they are going to drop down here. They won't make it this far until the much later waves. If you want to add a floor piece here so you can deal with them once they get down, feel free to do so, and then on the later waves you can always add floor traps or floor launchers right here and hopefully be able to kill them before they land. That is the left side and right side. Real easy, guys. Just make sure to build where you want to. Base placement, I would put it here. I added these 2 things and I would stick it mainly on the left side. The spawn seems to be heavier on the left and a shorter amount of walking time. The smashers seem to come more from the left-hand side, so I would place your base right around here. On wave 24, this is probably your best bet. Wave 24 is one of the harder waves. It is a full-fledged lobber wave, and if you do not have a build similar to this, once again, let's just get a big look at this. you will be in trouble. Just make sure you have that lava shield in place. I have this here and these stairs going down just in case a flinger or a lobber wants to start lobbing from here. This stops them. They can't seem to hit from back here. That is why it stops right here. All of these walls are probably unnecessary. It's just from when we originally did this. We've never lost on this spawn. Another place you can place your base is up here. This is why this door is here. You can, if you can make it here, just place your base and then just run back through the tunnel right here. This will get a lot of the front tunnel and all of these spawn traps a really good spot. So that is Mountaintop, guys. One of the easier waves. Once you build it like this, I promise you will not have an issue. You have this wall here to take care of, so they just kite into this one tunnel instead of splitting. It saves you a ton of material. You have chimneys coming down this mountain. If you want to do something a little easier, you could block this off here and just have them come out the mountain this way and drop directly down to here. That's possible too, but I felt like doing a double chimney with timeout boxes is a decent amount of damage. Not much makes it past this point right here, unless something blows out and you have an issue. Not much makes it past this point except smashers, allowing your zenith to freeze them and lock them down. And once again, we have a full build here. And there you go, guys. Sorry this one's a little bit longer than I would like. Just the build is enormous. There is so much to go over. 16 tiles wide. It's a ridiculously large build. Just remember a couple of things. This particular amplifier likes to get wave 24. Wave 24 is a lobber wave, so you need to make sure that you have your 3x3x3 lobber shield up on the right hand side. Make sure you have a neon sniper equipped, and your zeniths, if you're running with them, are vigilant to catch that random flinger that spawns outside of your tunnels. The left hand side, just basically trap it down as much as you can, but make sure you put those blockers on the hard left of the spawn so they don't decide to walk around. And lastly, just remember to block off that right tunnel piece behind that wall dart to make them path easier and save you a lot of materials. Next time, we are covering west side of Demon Amp, and then we're done with it, so stay tuned for that video too. If you guys are new to the channel, think about subscribing. I post videos like this, full weapon breakdowns and trap tunnel guides, a bunch of times a week. We would love to have you as part of the pack. I will see you guys on the next one. Tic Tac out.